And you met my granddaughter, Bridget.
Yep.
And you met one of the strongest girls that was ever put in shoe leather, is Bridget. And I'll prove it to you. Bridget, when Cathy was dying, that time Bridget was her first year in Marquette University. That September was her first year. And she never missed, when her mother went into that hospital, she never missed the night herself and Mary Kate Alvin, the little girl that was with her here.
Oh, yeah.
Every night they'd come down and sit by her mother and go back again up to Marquette University, and kept doing that until she passed away. Wow. 13 weeks, Bridget kept down all the time.
Yeah.
Proud daughter. Proud granddaughter.
That's you met Bridget.
Yeah.
Now, let's say Ed, the next one, Ed, the Lord have mercy on Cathy. Lord have mercy on Cathy. I hope you're praying for me. I know you are. The next one is Edward. Edward, there's a year between Cathy and Ed. Ed can be fiery. Can be fiery, very smart, can be fiery. He was at St. Basil's School, and the city of Chicago, for the Catholic parochial schools, had a speech contest. So they wrote their own speeches, so they all met at, I don't know where they met, I think it was at St. Ignatius they met from the school. So they had the preliminaries, and then they had one into the final, and then he was in it, and he was in the final, the speech contest. We came out, and he said to me, he said, the final is on, Dad, he said, and there's only one of us going to be in here. Either me or you. He was only 13 years of age at the time. I says, okay, Ed, I'm not going to be there. I walked away, because I guess he thought I'd be critical. He won the speech contest. He won it. So I was not long in the country at the time, and the big high school here at that time was St. Leo's High School. So I had it all set up for him to go to St. Leo's High School. Well, one night I got a phone call from a Father O'Reilly. Father O'Reilly. I'm telling my story. This is my story, true story. Father O'Reilly called me and he said to me, "You Mr. Hunt?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Your son Edward," he said, "was in the speech contest." He said, "Who in the speech contest?" He said, I am the president of Ignatius High School. He said, I'd like him to come to St. Ignatius High School. I said, "I don't think so." I said, "He's going to St. Leo's High School." I didn't know the difference then, that St. Ignatius was the best high school in the country. I said, "He's going to Leo's." He says, "Well," he says, "You're from Ireland?" He started talking to me. I said, "Yeah." He said, "My name's O'Reilly." I says, "Where are you people from?" He says, "Cavan." I said, "You're people from Cavan?" "Yeah." "And they're Rileys?" I says, "I know a fella, Riley." I said, "I'd call Big Tom Riley. He used to play football. He has an All-Ireland medal with Cavan." I said, "Oh," he said, "he's a cousin of mine." I said, "Ed is going to Ignatius." Big Tom O'Reilly was in jail with me. I said,
Case closed.
So Ed went to Ignatius.
He went to the same college as John graduated from this one right here.
He went to Ignatius High School. Okay? There was a professor down there, Dr. Raspus. Dr. Raspus, he said, "That's son of yours." He says, "He's got English." He said, "You've got to watch him." I said, "I've watched him for years." I said, After that, he went on to, oh yeah, I have to tell this story. The day he graduated, I was very scared. All the students came up and they went up one side and got their graduation, went down the other side. Ed got it, and they said, congratulations, and he said out loud, I earned it. And with that he jumped off of the stage.
But he proved he was his father's son.
So, that was all right. He went on to Marquette University, graduated from Marquette University, went on to Gonzaga Law School. I went down there, Kathleen and I used to go to Washington, to Gonzaga Law School. Ben Crosby graduated from Gonzaga Law School, and Ben Crosby's Ed took me into their one place there where Crosby donated a building, and all Crosby's records were all lined up. Beautiful sight, beautiful sight. And Ed and I was go down. Funny way for doing things, but I always had a car now and then. We went down to it's in Idaho, Coeur d'Alene. It's a lake, Coeur d'Alene, Iowa. So we used to like that. But Ed, anyway, Stuart Anderson's, we was going to eat them steaks, Stuart Anderson's steaks. He had the short-horn, whatever them steaks are, but he had a big ranch there. But Ed graduated from Gonzaga, and the day he graduated, that day, they had a fair going on with the law students that down or out or whoever, any kid that would be able to afford it, the students would represent them in court.
All right.
And Ed was represented, the day he graduated, there was a court on and he represented, and Ed won the case. The guy came over to me and said, is that your son? I said, yeah. He said, Lee Bailey. So he graduated. He was going with a very nice girl there, Teresa Donovan. Anyway. But anyway, Ed came back. We're still dealing with Ed now. I'm dealing with my family. Ed came back and he worked in Washington, or in Marquette. He came back to Marquette, took the law license in Wisconsin. He was a professor at the law professor at Madison, at the University College in Madison. He was a tenure. He had tenure. He left that. He left that after 5 or 6 years, and he opened up his own law business in Milwaukee. Things were going good. He had 4 or 5 guys working for him. But Mary Kate Halpin and Bridget worked for him all the time while they were in Marquette University. And he always said to them, he said to Bridget, he said, Bridget, forget about my work. He said, do it when you can, but do your homework here.
All right.
A father figure.
That's what he did. That's what it did. Ed got on very well. Ed got on very well. He was very close to his mom. Never married. But years. Very close to his mother. He never missed the day that he didn't call her, and he never misses a day that he doesn't call me. He's living in Milwaukee, called me. When his mom died 3 years ago, a year after that, Ed married at 57 years of age.
Wow.
You met Ed.
I didn't know. I didn't meet him.
Himself and his wife were down. He come down every Saturday evening to take me to mass. That's my son. can't say enough about him. Now I come to the other guy, Johnny. This is the last one. Johnny.
Bro, Johnny, even had to live up to now.
Johnny.
It's a tough act to follow.
Johnny did live up to it. He has 11 children.
Oh.
He made up for Ed.
And I have to congratulate him now tonight. Johnny, I have to congratulate you and Mary. His wife ran in the marathon last Sunday. She did it. She ran the 26 miles in 5 hours and 13 minutes. She averaged 12 miles an hour.
Wow.
After 11 children. Mary, God bless you, Mary, because you'll be seeing this. We had to deal with Johnny now. Johnny, there's 4 years we lost. Kathleen had a miscarriage in between. And Johnny's 4 years younger than now. Johnny went to St. Basil's for a bit, and then when we changed up to Market Road, he went to St. Nicholas of Palatine. He graduated from St. Nicholas of Palatine, and he was great friends with the young Bentleys. Young Bentleys, they lived in Market Road. I lived in Market Road. I had a corner building, and I owned a lot next to it, so I had lots of space. Johnny went to a Quigley South Grammar School, secondary high school. Quigley South. I thought Johnny would go to the church with him. He went he gave 4 years at Quigley, and after he given the 4 years at Quigley, he got on very well. He put his application in for universities, and he put him in for 5 universities. He was accepted in the 5 of them. So he picked this university, Santa Clara University, a Jesuit university in Santa Clara, California. See, Johnny was. So I remember I was working in Alaska at the time when he went out. I went out with him and went to the university. And I'm telling this, Johnny, other people will be listening, Johnny, and I hope you're watching me. But the first time I took you in there, you told me walk around while there was orientation, okay? And you came out to me, Johnny, and you said, Dad, I think I picked the wrong school. And my answer, Johnny, and you remember it, don't you? I'll be back here in 4 years to pick you up. And Johnny, I was there in the 4 years to pick you up. So he graduated from there. So that's the three of them now. So Johnny went down to Loyola, and he saw up on the bulletin board in Loyola, this is, you can correct me, Johnny, on the phone after if I'm not right here. He saw it in the bulletin where they was looking for a job, graduate students can apply for this job. And Johnny applied for it. And he got the job with a steel brokerage firm. Good job with a steel brokerage firm. They were out here in west of 79th Street, away west in 79th Street, over the bridge there, after you pass White Castle hamburgers, they had a brokerage firm there. But anyway, he got a job there. So I was working there for a couple of days. So he was talking to his boss there, and his boss said to him, "What does your father do? Where does your father work?" He said, "My father is a plumber."
John, before you go back, tell Tig now about when the lady at Loyola told him he couldn't get the job because he was not a graduate.
Yeah.
Tell that part of it.
Oh yeah, he was up on the board. He was up on the board that he couldn't get the job because he wasn't. He didn't graduate from there. But he told him, "I graduated from the same outfit, the Jesuits outfit." So they did give him the job. They did give him it. But you see, it was the way. And Johnny knew that that it was for them guys, but he applied for it anyway. But anyway, where was I? There?
He said his father's a plumber.
Yeah.
He said my father's. He says, yeah. He says my brother runs that outfit. Who was the business manager at the plumbers union at that time?
Stephen Bailey?
No. Stephen Bailey was, but the secretary there at that time was, I'll think of his name in a minute. But anyway, he told him. So they got to be good friends, very good friends, and after that they sold, and he's still with the steel brokerage. He manages the whole. He's the head man now for Texas, Louisiana, Mexico, all around there. He runs all that. He's children.
Mm-hmm.
His wife. They have 11 children. 11 children. Mary. He married Mary. Mary. Her father is. I was telling you about him, but we can't say that. His father was a sergeant in Omaha, Nebraska. Dr. Peters, and then she has two brothers, two doctors. They're anesthesiologists. But anyway, that Johnny has 11 children. Now let me talk about Johnny's 11 children. I have to do this. This is the family. The eldest was Mary Kate. When Johnny met his wife, Mary, she was a teacher in a convent in Dallas. And all our family was a kind of, they were not over religious or anything like that, but if the church asked them anything to do anything, they do it. So they picked so many men out of the men's choir or something to walk around the convent at night, and he saw Mary, and that's how and no one introduced him to Mary. That's it. So they got married, but she decided to teach all the children at home, homeschooled.
11 kids?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And she's after running in the marathon. I'll come to that. But she taught all the children at home. So the first one, she was a girl, Mary Kate. There was a child born in that house every 2 years. There was 11 for 22 years. Mary Kate was the first one, and Mary Kate went to a private school down in Virginia, and she got her BA. Right now, Mary Kate is working with, I'll say it, Jack Daniels whiskey as a salesperson.
All right.
Jack Daniels. The next one, she's doing well. She's doing very well. The next one is John. John is the next one. He graduated from, taught at homeschool. He graduated from Missouri, University of Missouri. He took 2 majors. He took journalism and math. He went in there with the swimming team. He's a long distance swimmer. They're all powerful swimmers. When he graduated with the 2 majors, the university offered him another year, free. They wouldn't charge for the other year, and he could get his master's in accountants. So he got his master's, John got his master's in accounting. The next one is Patrick. Patrick is going to the University of Austin. And last week, he was accepted into 2 medical schools. He was accepted into Baylor Medical School in Texas, and he was accepted into Northwestern University.
Good for him.
Okay, yeah.
So, you'll be watching this, Johnny. I talked to my doctor yesterday and he told me he better go to Baylor. I'm not going to tell you anymore. Now, the next one is Edward. I dreaded Edward always. Edward. I said the only one of them that is anything is like me is Edward. Edward. Edward is a musician. He has a ukulele. He goes to bed with this ukulele. He's playing it all the time. Edward graduated from high school, so he got a chance of what university do you want to go to, Edward? Edward says,